All right. So I kind of promised you I would explain this thing a little bit better. And one way we're going to also kind of get into this idea of parsing a string. Parsing is we're building a parse tree and we're understanding where it came from. All right. So what we're going to now do is say, I'm going to give you an argument why that string is expressed by that regular expression, right? You know, it happens to be, if you count them, there should be an odd number of ones, and I'm going to claim that we can get that somehow, right? And how are we going to get it? All right? I'm going to say we want to prove that this regular expression, right, it expresses every number every string with an odd number of ones, and it doesn't express anything that doesn't have an odd number of ones, right? This if and only if thing, right? And more than just the regular expression telling you what's in the language and what's not in the language, it also provides this way of parsing. All right, so let me tell you about parsing. Here, I'm going to take this string and I'm going to cut it up. Right? Anybody see my rule of how I cut it up? Where did I put the lines? Right? It's always, the red line's always, yeah? It's before a 1. It's always before a 1. And which ones? All the ones? No. After the even ones, right? We don't have one before the first one, and we have one to the second one, and not the third one, and the fourth one, and not the fifth one, right? So we don't do the first one, and then we do every other one, right? That's how I cut it. Everybody buy that, right? And in fact, if we started with an odd number of ones, then if you do this, what's going to be true is that the first string is going to have 1, 1. And what are all these other strings going to have? These other little pieces, they're going to have an even number of 1s, and they're going to start with a 1. Right? Everybody buy that? And then, which is kind of what we got up here. What is this? That's saying, I want any string that contains 1, 1. And what does this star say? I want any number of what? Well, it has to start with a 1 and it has to have 2 1s. Right? And that's what each of these pieces is. Right? So we're getting kind of meaning out of this. Everybody buy that? All right, so here the 0 star, where does the star come from? Well, what is the star doing? It produced those 3 zeros. Right? And then this 1 produced that 1. And this 0 star produced those 2 zeros. Right? Everybody buy that? And then this star, what did it produce? It turned into an R equals 4. Why? Because it got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these things. Right? And then, once we're doing one of them, what do? We got a 1 followed by 0 zeros, followed by a 1, followed by 2 zeros. Right? And so that's what we got the string. Everybody kind of right now what's this string going to do? What's this language going to do? How many 1s is it going to have? Any number of 1s, right? It could have 0, 1, 2, 3, any number of 1s. And where the zeros can go? Right? It could begin with the 0, and then you can put zeros wherever you want, pretty much, right? So what does this express? Are there any restrictions? Is the 0, 1 string? Can you think of a 0, 1 string that's not in there? I think they're all in there. All right, so anyway, let's parse again, right? What language does this express, and how does it break it up, right? Here we're kind of breaking it up further, right? Now I'm breaking it up before every one, right? And it's going to equal all strings. Why? Because, right, here we have any number of zeros at the beginning. And then each of these pieces, what's true about each of the remaining pieces? Well, it's a 1 followed by any number of zeros. So each of these blocks starts with a 1 and then has any number of zeros. So you can have any number of zeros between the ones. And then the last block starts with a 1 and any number of zeros, right? So this still gives you any number of strings, any string, right? Now, why might you want to write it like this, even though it's the same language? It's because it gives you a different parsing, right? So similarly, this guy, how would it parse? Well, it's just a sequence of zeros and ones, right? So it doesn't really give you a parsing. Well, this parsing kind of breaks it up into these blocks, right? People buy that? Yeah. No. Why not? Because it's a star, and star could be the empty string. Right? Right? In fact, here, look at this 1. How did we get a 1? Because we did a 1 followed by 0 star, which was a 0. Which was 0 zeros. Right? I'm not sure according to Andy, or according to George, I probably have never done a formal proof in my entire life. All right? In fact, when people read my math papers, they say it's not formal enough. Right? So I have co-authors. I usually write the first draft, and then the co-authors come in through and make it a little bit more formal. Because I do tend to talk this way. Right? But here I'm giving you kind of the ideas. I mean, there's formal in there, right? Anyway, how does the parse tree come up from, right? So here let's have a tree. I'm going to build a tree where at each point you make a decision, like a decision tree, and in the end we're going to have a string. All right? So here's a decision tree. Well, here at this union, a union means I either take something from here or I take something from here. And a star, right? I mean, here I'm kind of in some ways I'm parsing this regular expression, right? You have to know how is it, as I say, how would you parse it? How would you put in brackets, right? Well, the union goes last, right? And then the bracket, then on this side, right, we have the concatenation of two things. There's this bit and this bit, right? And on this bit, we have the concatenation of 0 star and 1 and 0 star, right? And on over here, we have this thing starred. So that's this star, right? And what do we got there? Well, in here we have the concatenation of 1, 0 star, 1, 0 star. Right? Everybody see how I'm parsing the regular expression? Right? And similarly, we can take a string and we can say, well, why is the string in here? Well, we can say, well, at the union, it's an or. You have to do one or the other. Right? And we went this way. And then all the others, we have decisions to make. Right? When we have a concatenation, you have to take something from the left and you have to take something from the right. Well, when it's a star, you get to decide how many to take. Right? Here I'm taking 4. Right? So you build this. Right? When I did in this piece, what did I got? Well, I took 3 zeros from this star, followed by a 1, followed by here's the star again, so followed by 2 zeros, right? And then what do I do in each of these? Here I took I took 4 of those, and in each one you can say what I took. Right? People kind of follow that? Yeah? You know, I'm always coming up with new test questions, so thanks for that. I think this is a perfectly good test question. Yeah. Right? You want to say, what could the question be? I could give you this regular expression, and I could give you this string, and I could ask, is this string in the language expressed by this regular expression? In which case you could just say yes or no, which is kind of boring, right? But I could go further and say, well, prove to me formally, prove to me that it's in the language, right? And I would say, I don't know what George would say, I would say that this tree, it's parsing it, it's proof that this string is in this language. Right? Is that making sense? I mean, the reason it works is because I would say 0, 0, 0 is 0 star, and 1 is 1, and 0, 0 is 0 star. Hence, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 is in 0 star, 1, 0 star. Right? And then I would say, oh, look at 1, 1, 0, 0 is in 1, 0 star, 1, 0 star. Right? In fact, then I would say each of these, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, is also in 1, 0 star, 1, 0 star. Each of these bottom things is in 1, 0 star, 1, 0 star. Right? So that the lot of them concatenated together is in this thing starred. Right? And then why is this whole thing in here? Because this is in that, and this is in that, and so we concatenate them together. Right? Now, why is the whole thing in this whole expression? Well, because it's in this side, and it's a union, and we don't care about this side. Right? I mean, that's a proof that this string is in that set. Right? Does everybody follow that? And you could write that all out in words, right? Or you could give me this tree. Right? Yeah?
Why don't we care about the other side?
Oh, because it's a union. Well, we would care about it if what we were trying to produce was ABA. Right? But it's not what we're trying to... Here I care about it. Right? But when I'm parsing this string, at the union, I went this way instead of it this way. Right? That's what I was kind of saying. The union, you have to go both ways. And in the union, you go one way or the other. In the concatenation, you kind of have to go both ways. And in the star, you got to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, some number of ways. Right? How do you produce this tree? From this tree, you want to produce this tree. That's what you do, is at the union, you decide which way to go. At the concatenation, you go both ways. At the star, you choose how many ways to go. Right? And even here, right, I got lazy, and I did, but really I should have done star goes 4 times, which gives me 0, 0, 0. Right? I shouldn't have, that's what I should have done down here instead. Right? But I'm pretty lazy. Everybody good, yeah?
Where do you have the union on the first string where A, B, and C?
Here? In here?
The second.
This union? Oh, good question. It's because this set, the set AB, is really the union of A and B. Right? What is AB? It's the union of A, union B. Right? So I was kind of, this is sort of short form for, right? Anyway, because I was trying to build a parse tree and it fit better in that way. Does that make sense? Everybody good? Yeah? He was talking about this union is the union between this A and this B. All right. Oh, here it's just what I'm saying, right? Here we choose one. Here you have to choose something from both sides, right? Choose one object from each side for concatenation. Right? Did I do union before? Here, union, I chose one object from one side, either one side or the other. Choose object from the set union. Choose one object from the set for union. I don't know. I would say you go one direction or the other. And here you choose both, and here you get to choose your R value.